Hello, I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. My name's Tom, and I've entitled this YouTube channel "Tom's Moments That Matter," and I've been trying to make YouTubes that encourage people, inspire people, lift people up, and I've you trying to find the right topic, trying to find the right words to say to help encourage people. I love encouraging people, and it's what I want to do. And it's what I want the channel to do. And I saw a video just recently. I mean, I've been watching a lot of videos. I've been watching a lot of YouTubes about how to grow a channel and what you should be doing. You got to have the proper lighting, the proper equipment, and I don't have a lot of that stuff. I'm actually filming this on a iPhone 5, if you can believe that. It's an iPhone 5 that it's an old iPhone that I have, and it's working great. It's nice and light. It's small. It's easy to use, and I'm doing that. And I actually bought a mic. It's got a wireless mic here that I have hooked up to it, and that's about all I'm using. I'm not really cutting anything. I'm not editing anything. What you're seeing is what you're getting. I may edit this one. I don't know. Um, but I saw this YouTube, and I'm going to give you his name. I believe it's Old Me, Old Mike. And we sort of look alike. He's got a nice white beard, and so do I. And he wears a cap, and I got lots of caps as well that I wear, and different ones. And he actually just made a video, which I really related to, because I've been told you have to have a niche, and you got to narrow in, you got to focus in. I mean, I'm 73 years old, and I've done a lot of things, just like old Mike said in his YouTube channel, the latest video. And I've done a lot of things. I've been a pastor of a church. I've worked in the business sector. I've owned my own business. I've done all kinds of things. And how do you narrow that down into one niche? The only thing that I know for a fact that I want to do is I want to reach as many people as I possibly can in order to encourage people, in order to lift people up, and to help people that are struggling perhaps right now in this world that we're living in. When I was a minister, I'm a retired minister right now, and when I was in the ministry, one of the things that my wife and I did was our ministry was encouragement, that we would lift people up. And every week, with the people that I had coming out, I've been in churches where I had as little as 50, and I preached at churches where there was a couple of thousand. So I know how to speak in front of people. This is a little bit different. I'm speaking in front of a phone, which is a little bit unusual. And it seems like every time I get in front of the phone, lose my thought. I get my creative powers just leave me for some reason. And so I'm doing this video partly for myself and partly for others out there that might be struggling doing whatever it is that they're doing, whatever it is that they want to do. I've made a few notes down here that I want to share with you, and so I yes, I do have a niche. I have a niche that I want to encourage people, inspire people, lift people up. I want to get people to do things, to get out and do things. If it's a YouTube channel, that is wonderful. I'm trying this myself. This will be my fifth, I think, longer video. I've done a few short videos, and have they done well? They tell me that you're the first 20 or 30 videos nobody watches, or very few people watch, and I'm sort of experiencing that. I've had several hundreds of videos or views all my videos, and that's somewhat encouraging. I've had a few subscribers, and that's encouraging, and I want to thank you for that. And if this is something that you think you'd like to hear me do and follow along with me, I want this to be a journey between you and me, okay? I mean, I know I might be talking to one person, I might be talking to 1,000, 5,000. I have no idea how this is going to go. But I want this to be something that you and I do together as a journey. And my, my big thing is I'm really in tune with the 60s, the 1960s and 70s. I love that era. That's the era I grew up in. And when you think about those times compared to where we are now, they were a lot slower, a lot different. Things were easier. I don't know. It seemed like things were a little bit easier back then. There was not the pressure on you that there is right now. There seems to be so much pressure put on people, whether it's digital or now knowing about AI, how to deal with AI. One of our MPs in our local town here, who left politics, has now gone into a company where she's going to be dealing strictly with AI, how AI influences us and helps us and marketing shares and all that sort of thing. And man, all that's totally great for her, and it's wonderful. And I'm not saying don't keep up to date. I think we have to keep up to date. We have to know what's going on. I'm learning all the time. I'm learning about AI all the time. I'm learning about YouTube. I'm learning about how to do things. This wireless mic now is totally new to me. I have a stand here that someone on YouTube said to buy, and I bought that, and I carry it around with me. And I'm learning. But what I'm finding out is that you have to not necessarily have a strictly defined niche, but just a general thought of what you want to do, and then work on that. And that's what I'm wanting to do. I'm wanting to get us, you and me, to actually begin to slow down. Slow down to the point where we're not going backwards. We're not just sitting on the porch and doing nothing, but we're taking time to relive some of the years that we had when we were growing up. Remember the times when you used to actually write a letter, write a note to someone. One of the times when I was helping out with the youth in our church one day, we didn't know any of the youth that well, and they were sort of a little rowdy bunch, and it was a time when they were going through a big transition in the church with getting a new pastor coming in, and my wife and I thought, what are we going to do in order to help these kids and encourage these kids? So over the next month, we really began watching the kids. We began watching how they reacted. So we got to know a little bit of their personalities, and so we both sat down and we wrote a little tiny notes. And over the next month, one by one, would call them in and just have a chat with them, and we would give them this little note of encouragement. And it was just maybe a one-sentence thing that would encourage them. And we had no idea how this was going to react and whether they were going to like it or not like it. But we decided to do this, and it was such an encouraging time for us, because we heard back from some of the parents of these kids, went home with these notes, and we heard that some of them actually kept them by their bedside and would read them quite often. Years later, some of these kids still remember the fact that we wrote these little notes to them. And that's what I'm hoping that we can do here. I'm hoping that we can go back to a simpler time, a time when there were handwritten notes, when the neighbors used to help each other, and just slowing down slowing down, and that doesn't mean falling behind. Like I said, that doesn't mean just give up on AI and give up on YouTubes and all these types of things. I'm just saying, slow down, take a breath. It will help you give a totally different perspective on things if we can slow down. So right now I have, maybe my next video I hope will be, I have a whole pile of wood out here that I'm gonna try to get piled up. And that reminds me of what it was like back in the day. People always say, oh, it was back in the day. Well, back in the day, we used to take the time to actually pile the wood, bring the wood in, light a fire, sit by the fire, maybe have a coffee. And things seemed to be a little simpler back then. There's a lot of joy and happiness. I remember just even sitting around the table. Can you imagine that? I mean, today, a family sitting around the kitchen table to have dinner. It doesn't happen very often anymore now. There's things you can do today that, if you look back at the things that happened back in the 60s and 70s, and I mean, like I said, having a handwritten note, call someone instead of texting. It's so easy just to pick up the phone and text and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I do it all the time. But what a difference it would make if you actually called someone up, or even better still, sent a note in the mail. I still haven't done that yet. I'm going to do that. I haven't done it for a long time, but I'm going to actually write a little note, a little letter, go to the post office, buy a stamp, and mail it out to someone and see what happens. I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happens on that. How about cooking a meal for a family? Actually cooking the meal rather than ordering it off Uber, I guess it is, or whatever the other ones are called. Or taking a walk without your headphones. You see so many people out walking now, but they have headphones on and what are they listening to? I don't know, music? I don't know what it is. I don't know what they're listening to, but just maybe just listen to the sounds. Listen to the sound of the loons. I'm sitting here by the lake and maybe listening to the sound of a loon out there. How neat would that be? What was the key phrase that I have for today was, what was old still works today. Even though it's old, doesn't mean it doesn't work. It still works today. I know we all have struggles, and we're all feeling tired. We all feel like we're overlooked and overworked and somehow discouraged. But if we can just do one thing, we can just take something. You've made it this far. I'm 73. And you know what? I think you're stronger than you think you are. The people are out there and they're a lot of YouTubers are complaining. I watch a lot. I don't watch a lot of them. I see a lot of them out there where they complain about everything. I'm not going to be complaining. I don't want to complain. There's no point in doing that. I'd rather encourage people. Encourage persistence, just like chopping wood for the winter that I've already done. We've got it all chopped up. We've got it all split. It's the small efforts back then that will prepare us for later on when it gets minus 30 and 40. And those things that we do today, those small little things, prepare us for tomorrow. Our parents and grandparents didn't quit when it got tough. They leaned in. So can you. So let's look back. Let's look back and live with intention. Carry hope into tomorrow. Edson, I want to thank you for joining me. I don't know if this is a video that I'm going to continue on with, or this line of thought, but I love the idea of being able to talk off the cuff with you guys. And I hope that between the two of us, we can go on this journey together. And let's encourage one another. If you have anything in your that you'd like to talk about, if you have anything that you'd like to have encouragement about, please say something in the comments. I think I know how to work it. I've already had several comments, and I hope I've responded to them. I hope that the people that have commented have got my reply. I think I figured that much out. And I'm just asking that you take time today and this week to think about just relaxing, stepping back, and taking it easy. And as usual, I want to leave you with this. I believe that every moment matters because you matter. So until next time, I'm going to ask that you keep the faith and remember God loves you.